Chapter 1 Carvalho. When, on a morning, I pushed open the doors of the Mudikere Beekeepers Cooperative Society, the rainy season had set in for quite some time in Malnad. The whole town was covered with mud and slush and wore a bedraggled look. My trousers were wet, my feet sore, and I had a running nose. Wondering whether the signboard painter had spelled cooperative right, I raised my head and saw there were two rooms at the back of the veranda, one large and the other small. In the big room, there were scales for weighing. Since I did not see anybody there, I took the smaller room to be the office and walked in. My father had asked me to get some honey from Modikere, as it was likely to be cheaper there than at Mysore. An Ayurvedic physician had advised him to take a spoonful of honey with water every morning, which worked out to half a bottle a month and about 7 bottles a year. And calculating at 10 rupees a bottle, I had taken 20 rupees with me. I peeped into the office room and saw two young men scribbling away something. One of them raised his head and gave me a "What do you want" look. The moment I said "honey," he rattled off without pausing for breath. "No, no, I am sorry. We can't buy any more. Not for another 2 months anyway. No, please, you may go. Thank you." The other person who was writing with his head bent down looked up. I think he recognized me because he stood up embarrassed and whispering to his colleague said, "I say, wait, I know him." He welcomed me with a hearty, "Please, sir, come in, come in." I felt happy and a little flattered too. I cursed the dirty clothes I was in and sat down on the chair they showed me. "Sir, that film," he said, "wasn't that yours, sir?" By now, the other person had realized the slip he had made. "Good morning, sir," he said. "Sorry, I thought it was somebody who had come to sell us honey." "No, I haven't come to sell, but to buy some honey. I want 7 bottles of it." The man who had recognized me first pointed his finger at his colleague and, by way of introduction, said, "Sir, this is Mandana. He is working here to be a beekeeper. I am Lakshmana. I too am new here." Mandana stood up and greeted me with a namaskara, but his eyes clearly showed that he didn't have the faintest idea of who I was. Lakshmana turned to him and asked, "Hey, Manda, do you know who he is?" Mandana vigorously nodded his head to say he knew me perfectly well, and so saved my honor. I looked at the two with a smile. "Sir, if it is a bottle of honey you want," said Mandana, "it would be 10 rupees a bottle. But if it is pot honey, we could sell it for a little less. Whether the honey was bottled or potted, it was all the same for me, so long as it was honey," I said. Mandana said, "Sir, bottled honey is machine extracted and potted honey hand extracted. The latter is dull in color, and a man of experience can easily tell the difference between the two by its very sheen." The way he spoke, like a student answering his teacher, clearly indicated that he was new to the job. Now, I was not particular about the sheen or the tint, nor was my father an expert, and so I asked for potted honey while wondering how they were going to measure or weigh it or charge me for it. "How much do you want, sir?" said Lakshmana. "I have 70 rupees on me," I said. "Give me what it can buy." The two appeared shocked. "Why so much, sir?" they asked. "How much will it buy?" "Sir, pay 78 rupees, said Lakshmana, "and we'll give you a tin." "A tin? What tin?" I asked. It was my turn to be shocked. In the big room in a corner, they had stacked kerosene tins, one over the other. In fact, I had seen them while entering and wondered whether I had come to a kerosene oil depot. For the life of me, I didn't guess, and I couldn't have guessed that these contained the divine manna I had always dreamt about. Naturally, I was amazed that they were about to give me a whole tin of it. These smart fellows, I thought, must be palming off on me some adulterated stuff. But how could they have adulterated? And with what? Not with sugar juice, nor jaggery, nor peanut oil. Surely. None could be cheaper than this honey, which cost only 78 rupees a tin. You mean you will sell me that tin of kerosene oil? I asked. Oh, sir, no, said Mandana. It's not kerosene oil. It is pure honey. No cheating, I hope. Oh, no, sir. This is cooperative society. If we indulge in such things, we shall be behind the bars. I see. But what if you yourself have been cheated? Us, sir? Cheated, sir. Let me try. Let them try. And why would farmers do that? Your merchants may, but not our farmers. Even then, I could not believe. Tell me, I said, how do you manage to sell honey so cheap? Immediately, Mandana began giving a discourse on the economics of selling and buying honey. He spoke as if he were tendering evidence in a court of law. And this is what I could gather from his harangue. This year in Malnad, a great number of gurugi trees had blossomed. These trees, which flower once in 8 years, it seems, are a sure sign of an excessive production of honey. The society ran out of capital in trying to buy the honey supplied. It raised loans and ran out of loan money too, and it therefore sent the beekeepers back, asking them to bring the produce later. Since there was no proper storage facility for such a large quantity, they had kept it in the these kerosene tins. Well, I have 70 rupees on me, I said. The other 8 I shall pay tomorrow. Get me a tin now. Actually, I felt like buying as much honey as I could at that rate. Mandana sprang on his feet and, moving with wild enthusiasm, said, Wait, sir, I'll get you the best of honey, the honey from the Gutti area. Connecting me with the cinema world, his imagination must have gone berserk. He must have thought of those actors and the actresses with their waists, breasts, and hips, their dances, songs, and fights. He must have thought of me as a man from the world of fairies. Mandana began to climb the mountain of stacked kerosene tins, step by step. Perhaps the tin of honey from the Gutti area was somewhere at the top. Mandana, be careful, careful, shouted Lakshmana. Ignoring his friend's warning, Mandana shouted back, Brother, would you please keep quiet? Who put it up there, you or me? He reached the summit and, looking for the Gutti side tin, caught hold of it by its handle and jerked it towards him. The side of the mountain shook, and Mandana's eyes spoke of the panic he was in. And before he could collect himself, the tin started tumbling down with a din and a roar, as if hit by an avalanche. Mandana landed with a thud, the tin intact in his hand. I rushed to stop the rolling tins, but Lakshmana shouted from behind, Sir, please, don't. It will be all right. The lids are all shouldered. We shall rearrange them. If by chance a tin lands on your foot, you had it. It's heavy like iron. And turning towards Mandana, he roundedly abused him. You rascal, you never listened to me. Mandana felt humiliated. I stretched my hand out and took the tin from him. It did feel heavy like iron. When I placed it in my 40-year-old Jeep, its spring blades ground.